African community. Why don't y'all like us? Because when I be at work and I be trying to talk to the African people, it always seemed like they be like looking at me funny or side-eyeing me. And at first I was thinking maybe they just don't understand me that well. Maybe they're not well acquainted with the way we speak or something. I don't know. But somebody brought it to my attention that they just don't like African American people. And I didn't believe it at first. But then I started noticing certain little things. One of my coworkers was like, if you notice, they always cool with the white people. They love white people. I'm like, no, I don't think it's that. Like,
Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel, on which today we'll be taking a look at different opinions from black Americans, of which most of them disagree to be Africans. A number of black Americans who voted for Trump haven't set up a foot in
there's
America.
no way they like
Let's take
white
a
people
look.
more than they like us. That don't even make sense. I'll never forget. I was walking down this long pathway at my job. It's like a long pathway. And I see somebody just running this way like super fast. And it was an African. And I'm sitting there watching this, and she's a beautiful African lady, like super beautiful. Like, but she running this way. I'm looking like, what's she running from? It's a white dude behind her chasing her, and they both just laughing and giggling. I'm like, ain't that the same girl I was just trying to talk to yesterday, and she act like she couldn't understand nothing I was saying? How she having so much fun talking to this white man, but she can't be cool with me? Like, that's insane. Like, why don't y'all like us? Like, what is it that y'all don't like about us? I thought we was cool. And then as time went on, more and more, like, down the line, I'm starting to peep, like, this is a reoccurring pattern. Like, it keep on happening. I'm starting to peep that ain't no Africans trying to talk to me. They all act funny towards me, but they do be messing with the white people. And I'm like, bruh, that's a real thing? Like, I used to hear people say it, but I didn't really believe it. Like, I'm not the type of person that just hear something and just believe it automatically. Like, I gotta see for myself. And once I really seen it, like, this same African lady I was just trying to talk to yesterday, not being flirtatious, not being weird or nothing, like regular conversation, just trying to, you know what I mean, help make the day go by, like, not even saying nothing bad or nothing. This same lady who wouldn't even give me a conversation was being chased down by a white man, laughing and giggling. I couldn't believe it. Why don't y'all like us? I understand we're a little bit Americanized and everything like that, and we're a little bit brainwashed, and you know, we can be ignorant at times, but every African American is not like that. I don't like to see myself as an ignorant person who runs around starting I don't do that. You know what I mean? I don't do that at all. So I don't understand. It's very frustrating. I don't even want to talk about it no more. But hey, have y'all ever experienced that?
Most African Americans don't like to be called Africans. I tried to understand this in some of my studies, and I discovered that a lot of African Americans believe that Africa is a zoo. They believe that Africa is a forest. In other words, there are no houses, no roads, and no buildings in Africa. I don't know where they get this information from. But you see, we are all blacks, and there's no need trying to separate an African from an African American. Just because I don't talk like, hey yo, Shotty say what? Hey, where you about to go? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Man, I'm about to yeah, he talking about he gonna give me some. He talking about, yeah, I'm about to smash something really quick, you know what I'm saying? I ain't about to go over there with you, man. You say what? Boy, okay, get out my face, boy. I don't have to talk like that for you to accept me for who I am.
I don't think Africans should be calling themselves black. We have the most genetic diversity in the African continent, and we're reducing it to a skin color. That's a mockery of us as an African peoples. I would rather us call each other with our tribes, actually, than with our skin color. Like, it just bases us all to one level when there's so much to learn from us. Our history, our traditions, our spiritualities have been lost because of this. And I know it has a lot to do with American influence, but that is not our story, especially for the Africans who we've been here all our life. Yes, we can empathize because we've all gone through some form of colonization, slavery, being segregated. But especially as a Kenyan woman, I think we should focus on us. I think we should focus on not integration yet with the larger society, but integration with ourselves, understanding of ourselves and our culture.
I don't understand why Africans hate their own people. Like, just because we live in a different country doesn't make us any different than y'all. I mean, sure, our culture is different, but genetically, we're literally the same. And you want to know what's crazy? African people copy American culture, and black people want more of their culture. Like, really? We're literally going in separate directions, and that's what's dividing us. This stupid ignorance on both sides needs to stop. Like, it's honestly so dumb. I can't even believe I'm ranting about it on TikTok right now. Just love everyone. Understand both sides. It's that easy. And honestly, this is something I can rant about all day. If you guys
We did not all come from Africa. We all came from melanated people who were Africans, Europeans, Australians, Asians. Science states that at one point there was Pangea, right? And all of the countries that were named by white people and given their titles by white people, but that's another story for a different video, were at one point one landmass, right? That doesn't mean that Africa was the only geographical space. It just means that all of the landmasses were one landmass, but Africa was still there. Europe was still there. North America, South America were still there. Asia was still there. Australia was still there. Antarctica was still there. You see what I'm getting at? These landmasses still existed. Recognize that this may be a hard concept for people to grasp because we have been brainwashed for so long and because our history is not told by the people that look like us, but melanated people were everywhere, on every continent, meaning it is incorrect to say that everybody descended from Africa. That's not true.
Check this out. Scientists and researchers have recently discovered that only 8% of the African Americans that are here were actually brought here through the slave trade from Africa. This means that 92% of the people, of African Americans that are here, were already here. They were Native Americans, native to North America. This is a powerful revelation. We are Native Americans, not African Americans. You get it? You got it.
Here's a message to all the Africans who want to move to the U.S. America is not what you think it is. If you choose to get a black woman, you need to stick with a black woman that came from Africa, or you need to bring a woman from Africa here. Do not think that you're going to get the same godly treatment from the black woman that's raised here in America, the descendants of slaves, that you got on the African continent. You need to keep a tight community with the other Africans who moved over here, because the black community that's here and was here for the past 400 years is divided. Nigga, we can't even go to a goddamn party without the fear of a nigga shooting it up. If you step on a nigga's shoes wrong, this nigga might steal off on you. He might kill you. It is not love in the black community in America like it is in Africa. Most of our kids are reading on a 5th and 6th grade reading level. They are losing their virginities early as shit. Early as elementary, middle, and most of them early high school. We don't believe in marriage. Our women have a 24% marriage rate. Our women have double-digit body counts by the time they getting out of high school. These are things you got to think about here. Another thing, when you get here, you got to work like your ass in captivity, so you better be ready. All you can think about is work, get home, go to sleep, send your kids to school to get indoctrinated by the white man, and then work again. These are just a couple things you got to think about when you come to America.
About a month or two ago, you guys were saying that there's a difference between African American 4C hair and African 4C hair. And honestly, I don't think that that's true. I think African women vastly underestimate how much heat African American women use on their hair. Not saying it as a diss, I use a good amount of heat on my hair. I'm not saying it as a diss, it's just an observation. I didn't really realize it until I got to college and I started to spend way more time with African American women, especially African American women from LA, and I realized that they often use heat when styling their hair. Growing up, my mom rarely ever put heat on my hair. It was so rare. She would hot comb it every once in a while, and then she would use that iron thing that you put on the fire or you put in that really hot metal thing that gets really hot, and then you know what I'm talking about, I forgot the name of it. But when she needed to braid my hair, she would braid it in its natural state. She didn't need to stretch it using a blow dryer or anything like that. But I noticed a lot of African American hairstyles, like, you know, the super sleek ponytail, super sleek bun, and just a lot of different hairstyles. African American women tend to just stretch out their hair first and then style it. And consistently stretching out your hair and putting heat on it will loosen your curl pattern. My curl pattern and my texture is a lot looser now than what it was when I first went natural. I used to think that I had the coarsest and the kinkiest of all hair. Like, I used to be like, there's no hair texture coarser than mine. But now I would say that my hair is closer to like a 4B than it is to a 4C. And I think it's just because of the amount of heat I put on it and how consistently I stretch it. And it's not necessarily heat damage, it's just looser. So I think if more African women put heat on their hair consistently and stretched out their hair in order to style it, after a year of doing that, come back to me and tell me that your curl pattern is just as coarse or just as undefined. I genuinely don't think it would be. Also, a lot of African American women grow up going to hair salons like consistently. And when you pick up different techniques and tricks from actual hairstylists, your hair behaves a lot differently. Like, I started to wash my hair and deep condition my hair, detangle my hair completely differently when I started to listen to hairstylists.
I'm an African American. I'm the only person in the world who's had issues or who's faced discrimination. No, you're not. American black people are not the only people who've gone through hardship in this world. The same way slavery or the history of America has an impact on black people, history itself still impacts black people across the world today. And that's what a lot of you don't seem to understand. Your great-granddad or your granddad was a slave. Fair enough, innit? But so many African nations are still being affected by the West today. Look at Congo. As a clear example, it doesn't have to be slavery in your face for it to still be slavery in your face. Do you know where the resources in your iPhones come from? Congo. Them man are still going through it right now. I'm an African American. I'm the only person in the world who's had issues or who's faced discrimination. No, you're not. I'm an African American. All these people are stealing our culture. It's not really you. It's because of the country where you're from has this real big impact on media. So yes, a lot of us in the world, white, black, blue, pink, grew up on American culture. Not specifically black, but hip hop is cool. Hip hop is dominant. Athletes are cool. Like any child and every young person in the world, you look up to people you can identify with. So if you see a Michael Jordan, a Tupac, a Biggie, a Jay-Z, you're going to admire them and you might adopt elements of their culture. It's not rocket science. It's not that deep. You're not the only black people who have to navigate being a minority in another part of the world. So relax.
If you gave me a test of 3 black people, one of them is African, one of them is Caribbean, and one of them is African American, I could guess all 3 correctly. Just, if you know, you know. If you know how to do it, you know. If you don't, I'm sorry. For me, the easiest to identify are Africans. They have very distinct features that make them African. It sets them apart from Caribbeans and African Americans. This may seem very weird, but African Americans move differently than Caribbeans and Africans. It's a whole different vibe that you get from the person. It is very easy to identify. Personally, the hardest to identify are Caribbeans, but if you use process of elimination, they're not African American, they're not African, they gotta be Caribbean. They don't move a certain way, they don't look a certain way, so they gotta be from the island. As a Haitian, I can snipe a Haitian from anywhere. Haitians walk a certain way, they move a certain way, they speak a certain way, they look a certain way. Haitians are so easy to spot if you know. If you know, you know.
As a conscious African, I must push back against this constant display of ignorance by some African people against African Americans. African Americans must know that this is not the sentiment of a majority of African people. The constant disregard and disrespect of African American accomplishments, of their struggle, of their grace, of their excellence, of their fortitude must stop. It is embarrassing, it is heartbreaking. African Americans must know that this is not the truth. If you ever get a chance of visiting the continent, if you've ever visited the continent, you will know that you are loved, you are supported, and you are embraced as a member of this African family, because you are a member of the African family. And this display of ignorance by Africans, especially those Africans who have decided to settle on this soil, on American soil, must understand that it is because of the struggle, it is because of the sacrifices of African Americans that we are able to be here, that we are able to enjoy these things. And so you are exposing your own ignorance speaking this way. Stop it.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but y'all, as many, like I said, I only travel to 5 countries, but all the countries I travel to, I have never let them convince me that it's their culture to justify disrespect. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, because y'all have said right, a lot of black people I've seen, y'all have let people fool y'all heads up into taking disrespect as black people because it's their culture, and especially with China. I'm not gonna lie to you. Travel to China twice, won't be going the third time, because I'm not gonna hold you. That touchy shit, right? And then y'all love to sit right here and justify that shit by saying, well, they never seen black people before. First of all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. How the fuck is that my problem? They never travel outside to see black people before. Like, motherfuckers, listen, and the crazy thing about it is like the double standards y'all have between Americans who never travel and say dumb shit and Chinese people who never travel and say dumb shit is crazy. Because a China, like, listen, Americans can simply not know the name of a country or a country existing. Motherfuckers call us the dumbest motherfuckers in the world. China, a motherfucker can sit right here and ask whether a black person's blood is black, because our skin tone is black. And, oh, it's okay because they never seen black before. First of all, if you're asking, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, simple ass biological questions, right? This is biology. Biology ain't different between different races of people, right? We're the same species, right? And you're asking me whether simple biological fucking questions apply to me because I'm black. Bitch, you're just fucking slow. You're just slow. I don't know what the fuck going on there, but like every time I travel to China, you always get once in a, and like I said, somebody asked me some dumb ass question, as if, which is just biological questions, as if they don't believe I'm a person too. And it's just like, I don't know how the fuck y'all let these niggas get away with just saying stupid shit like that. Yet a motherfucker in America can simply say they didn't know fucking Luxembourg exists. And motherfuckers will get mad as shit. They get mad as shit. You Americans are dumb. You Americans are stupid. Like, bitch, no. Y'all no. Absolutely not. But like I said, when it comes to China, I won't go there a third time. Because it leans too much on the Nazism, right? It leans too much on the you think black people are monkeys type shit. Like,
can y'all stop asking us to come to Africa? Underneath all of our videos, whenever we're speaking about something and speaking about what we're going through, here come y'all from Africa. But where were you while we struggled? After you sold our ancestors to the white man, how come you didn't want us to come over there then? How come your people didn't make a way to come and rest?
Leave a comment and subscribe.